Good afternoon, traders. Joseph here from Eightcap. So we thought we'd, instead of just squashing crypto into this week's weekly wrap video, we thought we'd just look at it independently just after what happened last night. So things have really changed in the last couple of weeks, and I know that Silvergate is definitely one of the leading factors here. Also regulation worries are popping up again. This might upset some people, and I hope it doesn't get thrown back at me with venom in the comments, but I personally think that the crypto market needs some sort of regulation. I know that the whole point of digital currencies was to escape that area, but as we've seen in the last 2 years, you do have to have some regulation to protect the integrity of the market and the industry. There's a lot of good people in the industry, but as we've seen, there's also been some individuals in the industry that may not have set out to do the wrong thing. Some have set out to do the wrong thing, but they've definitely gone astray, and it's led to some serious issues which have caused everyday people like you and myself and other traders and investors to really be left picking up the pieces. So that's really just some thoughts from myself just to start on in regards to regulation. So how much do we need? Unsure, but do we need some? Yes, we do. Just to make sure that it's a level and a level playing field that people can invest in with confidence. I think that's the most important part of investing in anything. So, and trading as well. You want to make sure that who you're trading with, that they're going to be there next week, and that you're going to be able to take your capital out if you need to. So I think those are some points that I definitely feel pretty strongly about. Now, the market at the moment, so yesterday was a bit of a surprise. Definitely, this has been bubbling along, but I think maybe I didn't think that real big shock would come out, but it has. It looks like with Silverbank, basically wrapping up and heading towards, liquidation, that there's a hole now in terms of liquidity between the US dollar and other, dollar to crypto. So it's definitely makes sense as to why there was a panic, and it may take time to fill that hole, but definitely, when one door closes, usually another door opens. So I think that there will be other players will come in to pick that up. When and how is yet to be seen, but you wouldn't think that would just be a closing point, but it does. The reaction yesterday, it does sort of make sense with the worry over certain aspects of the market and the industry. So will we see further lower prices? There's a possibility of that, but we'll have to see if how quickly it can be basically factored in, and that how much damage or how much trouble that does cause, and we'll see that in the coming weeks, I would say. So moving on to tonight, though, we still have this issue with inflation and the USD that this does still have an impact on cryptocurrencies. It has had been a factor as well, but we've also been seeing these industry hiccups as well, and issues and disasters coming through, and has been causing the selling or the worry in the market to really accelerate, and we've seen some really heavy selling. We've sort of seen again, we've seen that last night through yesterday's session, and today so far buyers, we have seen a little bit more selling, but buyers look to be trying to stabilize a touch, but would like to see how interest and demand and momentum goes later today after the non-farm payrolls, depending on the figure that comes out. We are seeing at the moment some a fair bit of blue across the market, but it is really hiding the fact of what happened yesterday. So we saw Bitcoin lose 8%, Ethereum a bit over 7%. What was interesting though was some of the other coins that you might think would be dramatically affected, they did hold up marginally better in terms of the selling, and we can see that with Solana there, and Canando as well. When you really compare that on the eye test, say with Bitcoin, you can just see how dramatic that move was. And in terms of percentage, we weren't really. The percentage is a factor, but obviously the lower the price and the bigger the move, there's going to be a much higher percentage of its net, its total value. So, but for Bitcoin especially, that was a very big blow off. What we've seen here. So, could that be an exhaustion? Hopefully it is. We'll have to keep an eye on it just to see if buyers can resettle. In terms of Bitcoin as well, we did. Technically speaking, we saw it really just lock in at that previous resistance point, and it just failed to break that point. There was a couple of attempts. We did see 25 a few times, but then once the ball got rolling and we had a few fundamental factors start coming in with influence, the selling really got going, and then we saw yesterday it really just turned into the cascade. So now we are at a if we're not going to break over every market. We'll just concentrate on Bitcoin for now, but we're just going to have a look at things on a Fibonacci standpoint. So we'll just have a quick measure to have a look at the position of it. So we can see at the moment it's just through that 50% point. Now, if you ever followed Garn or believe in Garn, that was a pretty strategic point in a trend to see a retracement. So we are under the 50%, but we're just hanging around that point now. So hopefully, if we can see some buyer demand come in, and if things do settle down outside the market fundamentally, hopefully we may be able to see, maybe a correction point that could have reached, a certain maximum, but it is very early to start calling a bottom right now. We really do need to see a little bit more action from buyers and some, a bit more confidence overall, just to start showing signs that we could see this point turn into a new higher low, but we will be keeping an eye on it. That is a good level, even down to the 61.8, but generally the rule of thumb is if it's trading below the 61.8, you can, or some technical analysts have another level below that as well, but the general rule of thumb is if it's under that level, then the trend could be over. But for now, definitely this trend we've seen, that recovery trend, it doesn't look to be in those levels just yet, so it could still be alive, and we'll just have to see if we can get some more signs from price telling us that it is trying to find some sort of a bottom point, and that we could see new buying startups. So the key though, especially with Bitcoin, is that if we do see that new trend get going, there is really a lot of congestion here, and this level really goes all the way back to back into 2022, around July and August, and there's a lot of supply here. So we've seen that on a few occasions here we had a struggle to get going once tested here. We had a small move down with a new test up, but it really then just could not get past that level. So 25 for now for Bitcoin looks to be like possibly a stopping price. So we'd want to see if we can get some new movement going down at this level, and we do see a new trend start depending on other factors. But if we do, we really want to see the market get back up to 25 and break 25. So it's really critical that it does break that point, because as we can see now, there is a large range in play, and we are now sort of mid-range, and we're still following this trend though, but the overall pattern there is a range, and what we'd like to see is new support and demand. And if we do get that rally, which I'm hoping to see as well, then we will look to see if we can get back up and break this point here, which is pretty critical. Now if we don't, if we see a new lower high, a new push down which breaks that previous low, there's a good chance it could go back to 20, to test 20, or even below 20. Anything back to these levels here would be, not a serious worry. It would be starting to say that this could be done and dusted, and then we'll have to look for new evidence of a new recovery trend getting underway. So I think a lot now though will come down to the confidence in the market, and then how the market deals with a few factors. Silvergate, the aftermath, definitely one of them. Regulatory issues that are still around are another, and then generally just with the US dollar and inflation as well. But I think on the short term at the moment, it's definitely the focus is more on is industry related and health of the industry. And if people in general just have that confidence to invest and hold investments and trade and trade in crypto for the time being. Obviously, volumes have dropped off dramatically from a few years ago, but we'll just continue to see if science can come back. So it's just gone over 10 minutes. I didn't want to make it too long, but as mentioned at the beginning of the video, we thought it was appropriate to really just have one video just sort of discussing what's happened with crypto. And I did want to do a bit of a price breakdown on Bitcoin from a the daily perspective and just overall how it's going. So let's see what's happened. Let's see what happens as we progress for a few weeks. And I hope you have a fantastic Friday and have a lovely weekend. And thank you very much for your time and watching. And all the best with your trading. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them over to us. And thanks, and bye for now.